Why the war games anyway? Okay, this version of the war games was first shown on British television on Christmas Eve last year, and then it was put on Blu-ray in England and eventually in North America. So, despite the front of the sleeve spelling the word color with a U, this is the Region 1 release. It played on my machine fine. Here's the Blu-ray itself. Striking red design pattern. When I first heard about this, it was exciting, but I didn't really understand why they would choose the war games to take on. First, I knew they'd have to shorten it considerably before they could even begin the colorization process. But it just seems like a daunting task. I mean, I understand why they would want to do a Patrick Troughton story after William Hartnell and the first Dialect story. But it just seems like this could have been done later. I mean, why not do a colorized version of The Mine Robber or The Seeds of Death? And actually, it got me to thinking most of the black and white stories of the 1960s for the classic series, I think they work well in black and white. And certain, characters like Cybermen and Ice Warriors and Yeti, I think they look fine in black and white. And in fact, in some ways, they look better in black and white. Particularly, I noticed the Ice Warriors look more monstrous or less silly, you could say, in black and white. Now, for the most part, this colorized version looks amazing. The process of colorizing black and white has certainly come a long way since the 1980s. But there are some scenes that still look a bit off. The colorization, the colors look a bit pastel, and I think that also has to do with the quality of the film and how old this is. And of course, as you know, many British TV series of the 20th century, they had a technique, the way they were made, this mixture of film and video. The interior scenes would be shot on video, and the exterior scenes would be recorded on film. And film always looks grainier, and it's not quite as sharp as video. And I noticed how the interior scenes, parts that were filmed in studio, the colorization looked a lot better than the grainy film, the on-location scenes, which of course are a big part of this, because it has battle sequences, and there's various time periods of soldiers fighting against each other, and that's always an exciting aspect of the story. Now, this certainly doesn't replace the original, because what I always liked about the original black and white version is the length of the story gives it an epic quality, sort of almost like I consider it to be like the Gone with the Wind of classic Doctor Who, and even despite being in black and white, and the fact that it's Patrick Troughton's last story, and it's kind of the threshold, not just changing of doctors, but going from black and white to color, and this version kind of almost deletes or defeats those original qualities. This seems to be made first and foremost for a much younger 21st century audience, and this should never replace the original epic 10-part black and white version. Now, I know that when this was released in Europe, it was a set that came with the original 10-part black and white version. But this North American release, it just has the one disc, and it's just strictly this 90-minute edit, which is fine because I'm sure many of you have seen the original black and white version, or you may still have it on regular DVD. It was released about over a decade ago. They took the creators, the color artists, and the director. They took certain liberties in this version, adding some new scenes. In fact, even some deleted scenes were put back in this, which is ironic because you're talking about condensing an adventure that was originally 4 hours, but now you're putting some deleted scenes back in, and then they even created some new scenes, particularly exterior scenes, model shots, computer-generated effects. Now, perhaps the most exciting aspect of this colorized version is, I guess this is a spoiler alert, but you probably heard about this. The makers added a regeneration scene for the second Doctor turning into John Pertwee, and it's just terrific, amazing, and they just totally reconstructed a digital version of John Pertwee, and it just works so well, and that's perhaps the only thing that was missing from the War Games, is that we never got to see the second Doctor transform into the third. So there you have it, an American's review of this colorized, condensed version of the War Games. All in all, it's great, it's entertaining, but it certainly doesn't replace the original epic black and white War Games. And as the film critic Roger Ebert once said, black and white is beautiful.